Democratic Senator Kirsten Gillibrand is a name that comes up whenever people discuss potential Democratic candidates that might run in 2020. Now, after this video, I think I have my answer.
Because of the corrosive effect of corporate money in politics, I've decided from this point on, I am no longer accepting corporate PAC checks into my campaign. So one of the reasons why I'm so concerned about money in politics is because of the Supreme Court decision, Citizens United. We have a system where corporations can spend unlimited money that isn't even disclosed, so there's no transparency. Since I was first elected in 2006, I've made it my mission to create more transparency and accountability in Congress. And so I was the first member of Congress to actually post my schedule, my earmark requests, and my financial disclosure online. And I've since added to that my taxes. So I hope you will stand with me. We really need to make every effort we can to get rid of the corporate money and dark money that is flowing into politics. And my effort to ban corporate PAC checks is just a first step in that direction.
So Kirsten Gillibrand has stopped taking corporate PAC donations, and she actually stopped taking them on January 1st, according to BuzzFeed. Now, on the face of it, this sounds like great news. This is one of the issues. Money in politics is a big issue. Having dark money influence politicians and not knowing oftentimes where that money comes from is a problem. And she is the fourth sitting senator to do this, behind Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and Maria Cantwell. And I didn't even realize Maria Cantwell had stopped taking corporate PAC money. So good for her too. Now, while this sounds great, and it is a step in the right direction, her wording here is so specific that, to me, it raises more questions. Now, look, I don't want to I don't want to take the position of here's some good news, but actually it's bad news. Because, look, this is good. This is good. But there's no mention here of super PACs. And when you actually get looking into Kirsten Gillibrand and where her money has come from, and compare it to somebody who is a little better on this issue, like Bernie Sanders, then it makes me wonder, how much does this really matter? And I'll show you exactly what I mean. So when we look at Bernie Sanders' source of funds, and this is from opensecrets.org, we can see that the vast majority of his money comes from small individual contributions, 82%, and large individual contributions is 16.01%. So that is where the majority of his money between 2013 and 2018 has come from. Now, compare that to Kirsten Gillibrand, who only has 31% of her money coming from small individual contributions, which are contributions under $200, where the vast majority of her money comes from large individual contributions, and I believe the limit on that is $2,500. So most of her money comes from people who are giving her over $200. And then when you look at PAC contributions, it's only 7%. So if Kirsten Gillibrand, by saying that she's no longer taking corporate PAC money, if she simply means that she's not taking PAC contributions, this 7% of the money that she has gotten between 2013 and 2018, then this isn't really a big deal. So what is large individual contributions? Because that's where the majority of her money comes from. Now, people that generally give over $200, they're not just giving it through a website. I'm sure there is a lot of that. But a lot of what those large individual contributions are people paying for their plate at a fundraiser. So the vast majority of these senators have big fundraisers where to get in and have some face-to-face time with your senator or candidate, you have to pay $1,000, $2,000 a plate. And that is where Gillibrand is getting most of her money from, is from these fundraisers. Now, what this means is she's having a lot of face-to-face time with wealthy individuals. Now, that's not to say that wealthy people are inherently bad, but the point is, when you just talk to people who have money, generally, you're going to have the perspective that they have, because those are the people that you assume or you think are your voters. This person is supporting me. They're going to give me $2,000 for coming to this fundraiser. I'm going to talk to them, hear about their problems. And now, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, or even realize it, you are now taking on their worldview. The worldview of a lawyer, for example. So let me show you the top contributors that Kirsten Gillibrand has compared to Bernie Sanders. So Bernie Sanders' top contributors consists of 3 unions, MoveOn.org, which is a progressive organization, and an individual contributions from University of California. So likely professors and people that work at the university. Now, compare that to Kirsten Gillibrand. Her top contributors include 3 law firms, 2 at the top, and then a PAC designed to elect women to government, and Pfizer, which is a pharmaceutical company. So, why does she have so much money from lawyers? That's because of those fundraisers. She has those fundraisers, and these lawyers that work in these law firms are the ones giving her money. And if you aren't so sure about that, let me show you the top industries that Gillibrand has in terms of contributors compared to Bernie Sanders. So Bernie's top industry contributors are Democratic/liberal, which means progressive groups like the DCCC, retired people, people that work in education like teachers, health professionals like doctors, and at the end there, lawyers and law firms as well. Now, compare that to Kirsten Gillibrand. The top, by a substantial margin, is lawyers and law firms. And then next is Democratic liberal, and then securities and investment, which is people that work at banks, and then retired and women's issues. So when we actually drill down and look at who is giving these people, or Kirsten Gillibrand at least, and Bernie Sanders money, we can see that there is a much wider range of actual people, like real life, not rich people, that give someone like Bernie Sanders money, largely in small contributions, and then Kirsten Gillibrand largely in large contributions from wealthy people like lawyers and bankers. Now, again, that isn't to say that her decision to stop taking corporate PAC money is a bad thing. No, it's a good thing. But it's also sort of misleading, because she still holds these cocktail parties and has face-to-face time with these wealthy individuals. And I assume it also means that super PACs, which operate outside of a campaign, are still going to be operating and running ads for Kirsten Gillibrand. Now, on paper, she has no idea where the super PACs are getting their money. But, and also I'm not sure if there really is any control that candidates can have over super PACs. But Bernie's on record as saying that he doesn't want super PACs supporting him, and he doesn't take corporate PAC money, and he doesn't hold those sorts of fundraisers where lawyers are paying $2,000 a plate. So you can see when you look down at this that this doesn't put her on an even playing field with, say, Bernie Sanders. And I mean, it wouldn't anyways because of her history compared to Bernie's. And I have a video on Kirsten Gillibrand's history on her weird flipping or flip-flopping on certain issues, and I'll link to that above the video somewhere now. But yeah, it's still a step in the right direction, and Kirsten Gillibrand has supported or does support the Medicare for All bill, and she also voted against most of Trump's nominees. Now, you can say those aren't big deals, but I think it's something. It's worth mentioning. And so she did this she decided to stop taking corporate PAC donations with the combination of End Citizens United. So according to End Citizens United, about 70 candidates running in 2018 races, most of them challengers in House races, have declined to take corporate PAC money. Ahead of the midterm elections, 18 Senate candidates have taken End Citizens United's No Corporate PAC pledge, including high-profile challengers such as Representative Beto O'Rourke, the Democrat running against GOP Senator Ted Cruz in Texas, and Randy Bryce, running against House Speaker Paul Ryan in his Wisconsin home district. And I'll put a link to the End Citizens United website under the video so you can take a look at what other candidates and politicians have stopped taking corporate PAC donations. So while this is a good move on Kirsten Gillibrand's part, I don't want you to get things twisted and think that this is, the end all be all, and that this means that she's now clean of any corruption, or she is clean of any influence from wealthy donors or corporate donors. No, this just means that she has stopped taking corporate PAC donations. But as far as I know, it's not going to control what super PACs do, and she's going to continue holding cocktail parties or fundraisers where people can come in, I assume wealthy people, and pay for, pay $1,000, $2,000 a plate to go and listen to Kirsten Gillibrand and then be able to have face-to-face time with her afterwards, which, as I mentioned earlier, I think is really the most detrimental aspect to money in politics, is the actual face-to-face time where you get the worldview of whatever wealthy donor you were talking to. So, again, good move, but I have to just be honest that I'm not too sure if this really means anything yet. But I don't know. Just keep in mind that, or be aware and look online to see who is giving money and who's holding fundraisers. And it'll give you a better idea of who these politicians actually represent. Hey, if you like this video, hit that subscribe button below and consider throwing me a few bucks on Patreon at patreon.com/therationalnational or therationalnational.com/join.